I had to start the recording just now. That was the perfect time to start it. Sorry, but oh god, I had to. So he started coughing. I was like, "Where the fuck is the button? Where is it? Where is it?" Hello, everybody. Welcome to Must Be Nice with Kyle Adams and Chad Johnson. I'm Kyle Adams. That's Chad Johnson over there.
Yeah.
And yeah, how's you had a pretty good work day? It sounds like.
Yeah, it was nice. It was not a stereotypical Sunday because usually, and you know this in the service industry, Sunday is when the assholes come out to play. It's like a last ditch effort of the weekend. It's kind of different.
They just serve their Jesus time and they have to fucking get it out of their system. And like, okay, now I can be a piece of shit again.
That was the worst at Red Robin. I worked like noon to 4, and it was a really stressful shift, and it was all post church. And I worked a deal with them so I could get Sunday nights off, so I could do, because there's a lot of great Sunday night mics in Portland a few years ago when I worked there.
Yeah.
And that was the deal, was I in perpetuity had to work that terrible Sunday morning shift, but I got the Sunday night shift off always, so that worked out well. But yeah, Sundays are rough, and it transfers to every restaurant. This restaurant's a little better because it's a little higher end, but no, today was cool. I sold like $1,600 worth of food in like 3 hours.
Wow.
I walked with like $200, so I was happy. Yeah. But I don't have any other shifts this week. That was my one shift this week.
Oh, there you go.
Because it's slowing down, so I
got. That's about. Sometimes that's about what I make in a week, as far as tips go.
Honestly, I figured out because I live so meagerly. When I worked at the Beaverton store, I was like, I just need to make about $250 a week, and I can get by. And I can do every open mic and every show that I want to do, and that was all I needed. Really, only like 20 to 25 hours a week is all I need.
Yeah, it's funny how like when you start comedy, you're like, oh, I can just do the bare minimum of everything else because all that other stuff, it doesn't really matter anymore. Like I don't really care to be like a high class person anymore because fuck class systems, and then you like just have way more of an open mind and everything changes.
You just don't you don't care. Yeah, you don't care as much, and it's interesting because you think that it would happen gradually, but it happened like right away. Like the second I started doing decent at open mics, I was like, man, fuck everything else. Like that is not my focus. Not that I don't do a decent job when I'm there, but it's just it's always, I don't stress myself out about work anymore.
Yeah,
I haven't done that since Red Robin, which is nice. Like I just like don't live in that mind frame anymore. Like that place doesn't exist when I'm not there.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Like I'll get sometimes like someone asks to like if I can cover their shifts, and it's 100% across the board, always a no. Because I'm just like, oh, it's my day off. I wouldn't ever do that. Sorry, but I just
you don't want to put that precedent.
Yeah. No.
I get that.
Yeah, I had almost the exact opposite kind of work day. It was just like my morning was going fine, and then I looked down at my phone and I was like 15 minutes late already, and I was like, oh fuck. And I was like, oh, okay. So I get to work and I'm like a half hour late, and like I get so mad when that happens, but I'm internally mad, but I express it outwards. So like there's a fly. And so like I'm just a fucking grump, but it's more just because I'm like embarrassed, because it's like I'm not actually irresponsible. It's just I fucked up. I didn't mean to, but I don't want to. I don't know. I don't get to the point of just explaining like, oh, whoops. I don't know.
Do you ever wake up late and then go, fuck it, I'm late? So you go and like grab a coffee, or you roll a joint, or you take like a little more time.
See, that's the fucked up thing is like I wake up in between like 7 and 8 every day. So like I'm up and I have plenty of time to get to work because I don't ever work before 10:30. So when I'm like late, I'm like, oh, God damn it. And there's always just some, I think it's this part. I think this is the reality of it. There's some like 19-year-old dude that's at my work that's like, oh, Mr. Late to work today. And I'm like, 11 years I've been here, motherfucker. 11 years. Just shut the fuck up. You're like 100. You're number 100 of you that I've seen. So just, but I can't, I shouldn't. I really could.
I used to work with a dude. I used to call him like Mr. Red Robin because he used to like repeat the rules back to us if we did something we weren't supposed to. And I'm like, he was like 19, and I think they were training him to be a shift lead, which just means you're a fucking narc, like
Yeah.
an on shift narc. No, he sucked. He used to tell me like in the middle of a shift, I'd have meltdowns there. I'd have like absolute meltdowns,
Yeah, I
and
can see that.
he would just be like, "You should quit. You should just quit. If you hate it so much, just quit." And I'm like, "Hey, I might do that." B, you don't want me to do that in the middle of a shift. You're not being a good shift leader. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You're literally,
Where's the morale? Come on. Like,
yeah.
yeah, keep it up. Yeah.
I don't know. I would probably say some of the people that worked with me on shift would say that I was like kind of the bane of their shift, because I would get really upset there. I took it personally. I couldn't get stiffed and get like 10% tips like 3 or 4 times in a row without losing my mind.
Yeah.
And
That gets to me.
I just couldn't stop. I used to I used to fucking hurl eggs at the back of the building.
Oh,
I'd
that's
go
hilarious.
into I'd go into the walk-in and punch boxes, or sometimes I'd cry. I was so frustrated. It was
It's so nice when everything goes smoothly though. Like when you like there's totally days. It's a once in a long time. Like it rarely happens that I have a day that just like everything seems to not work out. But when I take a step back, I realize that it's just me looking at it the wrong way. Because like there was this guy that was gonna go on this delivery. And then I was like, didn't you come in after me? And there's a lot of people that just try to like jump on good pizza deliveries. They're like, oh, I know that's a good tip. So he did, but he didn't do it intentionally. I was like, well, you came in later, and he's like, oh yeah, fine, you're on this one. And I was being a grump about it. And then so I look at the delivery, and it's like a shit delivery. It's like this guy who sucks, and he never tips, he never has once, and it's a garbage delivery. So I was just like, oh, this whole day is against me because I'm just trying to do what's right here. I'm just trying to follow the rules, and then it just fucks me over again. But then I went there and I was wrong. It wasn't that one, and I got a $5 tip. So
nice.
I don't know. I kept thinking about like this whole uh like karmic energy of today. It was weird.
Yeah, I started off really good. My first tip, this lady, it was literally a lady and her son. She ordered a bottle of wine and she was going to take the rest of it home with her. And then they both had like a pasta dish. And I wasn't that busy. So I talked with them for a bit and I made her laugh a couple times. And I think the main thing was I ID'd her. And she was
There
like,
you go.
she was maybe a year younger than me. So she was like 31. And I ID'd her. And she
Okay.
just lit up from there. She left me a note. She's like, you were very, very kind. And she left me 20 on 67. And I was like, holy shit.
That's
I,
great.
that was the first table. So that like it just set the whole standard. And I was able to just cruise through the rest. And there wasn't even really like I didn't have any problem tables or anything, but it's interesting how you can set the tone. It's like because someone told me one time they're like, "Did you?" It really resonated with me with serving and all of that. Did you really have a bad day, or did you have a bad 15 minutes and you milked it for the rest of the day?
Hmm.
That's something I
That's
think about a lot.
that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the whole like kind of snowball thing because it's whenever something like yeah a bad 15 minutes happens, especially if it's something you did wrong and you're like ah fuck. If you have a bad time for a little bit of time, it goes on this long, and then and then I don't know. There's something about me at least that when I'm in a negative zone like that, I tend to like think about all the negative shit that it's going on. And so then I just like, well, then there's also this, and there's also fucking this thing, and then god damn it, there's that too. And that's
Hmm.
all affecting me. But like when usually that's on the back burner getting dealt with, like a normal person.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. It's easy to just kind of like pull at the seams of something when you start to see what's wrong with one thing. You're like, oh, yeah, just
Yeah.
everything is falling apart. I almost let it get to me during the shift. The one thing that I was real busy and I sat someone that wasn't supposed to be sat in this rotation. We were supposed to be on a wait, and it didn't even end up being a problem. I had like 7 or 8 tables going at once, but my boss kind of went off on me a little bit about seating someone while we were on a wait, and it really wasn't an issue. But just I remember him just getting a little agitated. I've kind of fed off of that energy, and I like went around the corner, and I'm kind of like, well, fuck that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but
Yeah.
I had to think about it, and I was like, okay, I'm not mad. I'm like, it was like he was annoyed, and he apologized to me afterwards. He's totally a cool dude. He never really, but I was just thinking about it, like when I was in an environment like Red Robin, where everyone was talking to you like that all the time, and it's like how
Mhm.
much of that I absorbed, and how much of it I shouldn't have blamed myself for that energy, because it's like even just that little bit can tip it over.
Yeah, that's true. And especially there's such a fine line in a restaurant setting, and when you're so busy and so like there's so many people doing a lot of different things. Between there's a fine line between just working and everybody's yelling at each other in a space like that all the time. Like when there's someone new at my work, I'm like, oh, don't worry about anybody yelling at you. That's just how we talk here, and it's just
Uh-huh.
you're gonna get yelled at. Um, but there's a fine line between that and like you can just go a little too far and express a tiny bit of frustration, but it comes out as like just full anger because you're already at an 8, but like that's the norm of work.
Yeah, that's a whole other like front of house versus back of the house thing too.
Yeah.
Like, dude, back of the house, holy shit. I've seen some I've seen some angry people. And they're just like, nah, nah, this is how, I like you. I just want you to do well. And you're like, dude, did you make me want to like quit? Like, I don't want to be around you. Like,
Yeah.
I'm too sensitive for back of the house. Too sharp and hot, and too many mean people on meth.
Yeah, that's where you can put the people that are unsightly.
It's so terrible that that's the way it works though, it seems. Or they
there's a
just
guy that there's a guy that came into my work today for a job interview. He comes in and he's not wearing a mask. It says it all over the place. And he's like, "Hey, I'm here for an interview," and he's got tattoos all over his face. And I was just like, "Okay." And so I go to the back, and I was like, "Hey, there's a guy with tattoos all over his face here for an interview." And then my manager goes, "Oh, tell him we don't do that." And I was like, "Oh, no, 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 no! You're gonna tell him that because I'm not talking to this guy. He scares the shit out of me already. He was a white dude with dreads and tattoos on his face.
oh no.
Yeah,
He's
like
he's
this.
part of the Matrix, man.
Yeah, it was scary.
That's terrifying.
It was
Uh,
great."
white guy with dreads problem. Uh, tattoos all over your face. Ah, huge problem. I don't
Yeah,
know, like I
like
don't know what.
you're a prison problem, like
Yeah, fuck.
that next level.
He's just a Saints Row character someone created,
Oh
and he's
my god,
like,
I
oh,
love Saints Row. I
he's like,
fucking love Saints Row.
I just want a pizza. I just want a pizza job now. I want to go straight. I've shanked enough people.
Cool. Did you ever play Saints Row?
Yeah, I want to get back into them. I played the second one, and actually I found it's funny. I found some of my favorite musicians from that game. I
Oh,
found the
cool.
band. I found the band Minus the Bear from that game, and they've been like my favorite band for 10 years.
Oh,
So
cool. Yeah. I like their single. They
oh
they have
yeah,
a pretty they have like one pretty popular song, and I've heard that and I like it, and I've never
mhm.
gone down the hole.
I no, I really like them. They broke up recently, but I'm glad they did because Their last couple albums were okay. They weren't terrible, but I think they even noticed it and were self aware. They're like, you know what, we had fun for 17 years and we're done. So
Yeah, it's
it was,
interesting when bands do that because there's a huge split in their fans of like, oh, that's understandable. Like you
mhm.
want a different job probably, or you're just, you know. I wonder if there's people in bands like that are just like, oh, cool, I made a lot of money, now I can just go do nothing.
Mhm.
Or if it's like
They seem like
once
the
you had a
kind of
taste.
guys. Yeah, yeah, exactly. You don't want to be like they seem like the kind of guys who can still have their anonymity because they don't stand out too much unless you were like a super fan. Like
Yeah.
I would be able to be like if I hung out long enough, I'm like, oh, you're that dude. And I can't remember his name, but you're the he's a fucking hipster with long hair and a beard. Like, but
Well,
anyways,
it seems like they have the kind of fans who wouldn't be weird or crazy when they do see them.
yeah, exactly. They'd be like, oh, I
Once in a while
respect
anyway.
you and you're cool.
Yeah.
They're really into the music. What they like to do is, and they have a lot of cool YouTube videos. So I can't remember exactly who it was from. It was one of the dudes from Holland Oates, and I think it was Daryl Hall. Yeah, it was Daryl Hall has this house that he built, and it's like completely acoustically perfect, and they
Oh,
use it,
cool.
it doubles as a studio. And the Minus the Bear guys go there a lot, and they record songs with him, and he sings along with them, and then they do like Hall and Oates songs too with him. So it's like they do some really cool shit there. So
That's
they're
fun.
involved in like the background like music thing, you know. But yeah, I
Cool.
really got into. I went down the rabbit hole with them real hard.
There's a what's it called? What's the Portland band? I think they're from Portland. They're from the Northwest somehow. Pedro the Man?
Oh, Portugal the Man.
There we go. That was close
Portugal
enough.
the Man actually opened for Minus the Bear the first time I saw them.
Oh, cool.
I saw them in Tampa.
I saw I think guitarist for Portugal the Man when I went and saw Kill Tony.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was awesome. They were at the Aladdin, and then they just had the guitarist there. He was like filling in for somebody. It was cool though. But yeah, that they do kind of ring the same bell for me.
Yeah, they're definitely I would say yeah, Portugal the Man. What's the other band? Oh, it's gonna bug me. Young the Giant kind of reminds me of Minus the Bear a little bit.
Okay, I haven't heard of them.
They're in a similar category. They were another one that I saw open for them. Uh, the coolest opening band I saw for them though was a band called Sky Saw, and it was like it was really weird. It was one of those like dream bands or whatever they call them, like where they get like it's the drummer from this band and the guitarist from that band, and they
Oh
put them
yeah,
together.
yeah,
They do like
what's it?
one single project, and I saw
Like a
them
super
play.
group. Yeah.
Super group, yeah. So they were called Sky Saw, and the guy who wrote the music and played the drums was the original drummer from Smashing Pumpkins.
Okay.
And their guitarist, I can't remember where he was from, but they played some really cool shit. And I kind of want to look them up again, but they only had one album and then they were done. But they opened for him one time, and then there was another one was the Constellations, which was it was like a kind. It was what was it like a kind of like rap, but it was like an indie rock rap. It was really weird.
Oh, like
I
Papa
enjoyed that
Roach.
too. Yeah, no, not like that. You cut my life in two pieces.
Oh,
Monsters.
what's interesting about this episode is it comes out right after the election.
Oh no,
Wait, what day is the election?
November 3rd.
Okay. Uh
Our ballots in by the 27th, though.
yeah, so it comes out the 8th.
The 8th. Okay.
Yeah.
So all hail who? Who's gonna
Yeah.
all?
It's
I'm not gonna determine just yet.
yeah, it's weird just to even think about it. I'm fairly apolitical. Like I'm of course like I'm not of course, but like I'm liberal. I'm a comic, so that usually is pretty consistent. And you know, it's I stay out of a lot of shit though. Like I don't really pay attention. I don't watch the news. I just kind of do my own thing and am like, oh well that guy's crazy. So that seems pretty obvious, right? Okay, cool. And this one's just weird because I'm like I want it to be over, but at the same time I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't know what's gonna. It's weird. So like,
I'm a little I'm a little worried that Trump's gonna call home base on the White House. I think he's gonna like a little kid you're trying to pull out of a store and he's grabbing the like he's
yeah,
grabbing the door handles, like what the fuck?
yeah, a dog you're trying to give a bath to.
Yeah. I don't see it going well regardless of what happens. I
Well, no,
just
because yeah, there's
and
like
even best case scenario, it's a smooth transfer of power. We still have Biden and we still have all of the issues that we have. It's not going to be, there's never going to be an easy fix regardless. But I just feel like if we do get Trump again for another 4 years, it's going to be, it's not going to be America anymore. It's going to turn into something else.
yeah, that's you watch that Jake Silverman video?
Where he talked to the Proud Boys.
No, the new one that I think it came out today, uh,
No, yeah,
or 2 weeks ago.
the Proud
Um,
Boys is insane.
yeah, that one's really good. This one is the Trump rally in Carson
Oh,
City.
no. Oh, I
It
haven't seen
is
it.
it's I mean it's phenomenal, of course.
Yeah.
But it's yeah, I don't know. It's so I just shared it because it's a video on Facebook that I was like, "Oh, I like this guy. I like this video. Great." Shared it. And then like I don't know, there's a guy that I've been friends with for a long time and he just commented, "Why?"
Hmm.
And so it's so cryptic and I don't know, it's like everything can be there was part of me that was like, "Oh, did I just lose a friend because he's going to get mad at me for posting this, even though it's not really taking a side unless you know Jake really well."
Mhm.
And yeah, I don't know. It's everything is so immediately politicized, and I think that's super intentional. And like that's even affected. Like I noticed that when I thought that today when I saw that comment, I was like, oh, I have that feeling already of like, oh, did I just lose a friend because we have differing opinions? And I thought that for a second and was like, oh, that's weird. Like, because I'm not that kind of person.
Mhm.
I don't know. I try to stay off social media as much as possible because I feel like my susceptibility level is pretty high just to because I get mad really fast.
Yeah, I've had to step back from it because I was getting into some arguments with some rednecks online, and it really I was getting really upset. I've been watching too much news, and I've been getting all charged up, and I get violently angry when I see Trump, and especially when
Mhm.
I hear him say something I know is a lie, or I know he's just trying to gaslight someone. It makes me so mad. Like, and then just to watch people defend him it upsets me. Like,
Well, and the like overwhelming level of low intelligence that you see, you're like,
yeah.
how is this not? Why is nobody seeing this? Like, look at, and I feel like there's something that's it's like acceptable, and
Hmm.
it's not noticed because there's a lot of people that have drank the Kool-Aid, and it's just it's weird because it's like, okay, if you are watching that guy talk. If you're watching him talk, you're saying something completely different than I'm saying. You're saying like, you know, there's people that are just looking at it like, oh yeah, he's right. That's great. It's hell yeah. Like I remember when George W. Bush was on TV. My one of my sister's son's dads was watching TV, and he was watching it, going like, "Wow, can can you believe how good of a speaker he is?" Like he literally said that, and I was like, "What the fuck?" because like I was always at my friends' liberal parents' hippie houses, and they were just like, "Look at this fucking moron," and it was just so easy to see, and nobody really paid attention to it. Hold on, my dog. Come here, come here, come here. Stupid.
Oh, you have a
Um,
sweater on.
yeah, he's got a sweater on.
Nice.
Come here, come here, come here.
Sweater
It's a
boy.
good one. It's a good one. It's good.
Oh, hi.
Yeah,
Nice. That's a tough pup.
yeah. I just cut his all his hair that's right here, so like he
Yeah.
can finally see.
Is he blinded by the light now? Is
Yeah,
he?
yeah. So it always just like hangs down like that, and
Yeah.
um, yeah. I gotta. We're like brothers more than like a dog owner or something. I don't know. It's like I
He
don't
sniffed
take him
his
to like
butt. You sniff his butt.
yeah. Well, I mean, he showers with me. That's like how close it is like I don't take him to a groomer to get him like washed or anything because like I
Mhm.
get dog shampoo and I'll just wash him in the shower and then I'll take
Yeah.
the rest of the shower. I do that every couple weeks and then I fucking piss all over him and we're good.
Yeah,
And
and you
just
get no fingers.
yeah, he doesn't get athlete's foot all over his back and that's how we do it. That's seriously, I have thought of that when I've been in the shower with him and been like, you
You gotta
know,
piss the dog, man.
yeah,
That's
they say to piss on your feet to cure athlete's foot. So whatever, I'll just just fucking pee all over his back. And then there's times that I have actually hit a spot on his back where his leg starts tapping the floor of the bathtub. Yeah, stop. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
No,
we're
no, you
buds.
piss on your dog's back twice a week. No heartworms. Everyone knows
Yeah.
that.
Every 2 weeks, every 2 weeks. He's got to get his moisture up,
Oh, yeah.
his
Yeah.
oils.
That's how you cure heartworms for good. Is
Yeah. Thirsty boy. Oh my God. That's ridiculous.
hmm I've never
So,
peed on a dog, but I did. I pooped outside once, and my dog ate it. That was really weird.
oh, actually, that kind of makes sense
Yeah.
because like there's times that my dog eats his shit, and I wonder if it's like recent to times that I've fed him like steak. Like, oh, here you go,
hmm
have some steak, and then he takes a shit, and then he eats it, and I'm like, oh, well, that's like maybe like steak can go through 2 times before it's not good anymore. I think that's what it is.
It gets two passes.
Yeah, yeah. There's still enough steak. There's still enough steak in there. That's good.
I'm not sure what I ate, but my dog, like, I pooped outside, and my dog was on it like quick. Like, I turned around, and she was like, like just like a two bite deal.
Man, that's such a Florida thing.
Oh yeah,
Pooped
and I
outside.
and I did it in front of a friend because I was trying to make him laugh, but I didn't
Oh
know
my
that my
God.
dog was gonna eat it, and it just became an even funnier thing. Like,
Oh yeah, that's gotta like I can't. Okay, so I know it's not okay for that to happen or whatever in society. It probably doesn't hurt the dog or whatever. But I can't think of a time when that wouldn't be fucking hilarious. Like
I
if I
just
saw it like today, if like okay, so I live with Zach. If Zach went outside and took a shit on the ground and Emma's dog started eating it, I would be laughing so hard while telling him don't do that. But I'd be, oh my God, hell yeah,
it was
oh
yeah,
my
it
God,
was great. It was probably the funniest thing that happened in sixth grade, I would say.
so cool. Did you ever fuck with lizards when you were in Florida? I mean, probably.
No, no, I could never catch them. I tried to every once in a while. Like
They're
they
fast.
were everywhere. They fucking freaked out my aunts. My aunts came down from Wisconsin when my mom died to hang out for a little bit, and they were like, "There's lizards everywhere. Like there's like an infestation." And I'm like, "Nah, that's just they're like ants. Like there's fire ants everywhere too." And they looked down, and I was like, "They've never seen red ants before." And it's like, yeah. they'll bite you. Like you shouldn't touch them. And they were just freaking out, man. They weren't used to the ecosystem. But I remember like some of the last few years I lived in Florida, like we would go to the swimming pool of the apartments where we lived, and there'd always be like a 6 or 7 year old boy who would have like a few of them he had caught. And I remember there was a kid who used to put them on his ears. And it was like a 6 year old kid walking around an apartment swimming pool with lizards on his ears, like earrings.
Just kind of like hanging on to him.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, that's kind of cool. I wish I was that brave. I wasn't that brave as a kid. And then when I actually tried to catch him, I couldn't.
Yeah, in Florida, I'd catch them a little bit and like set up like traps and stuff to catch them, and that was kind of fun. But the
You were
thing
the
that
fucking Kevin McAllister of tiny lizards in
oh
Florida.
yeah, when I was home alone, I was setting booby traps and fucking hitting geckos with paint cans. But no, the thing that freaked me the fuck out was cockroaches. I've never been okay with bugs that are big enough to where it's fucking big. I don't like big bugs. Um, in California City, when I lived in California, we had these things called vinegaroons. Have you ever heard of that?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Uh, I encourage you and everybody else that sees this to look up what a vinegaroon is and picture uh, me as a fucking 6-year-old boy saying this. It's a thing that's about this big, and it has it's like a half scorpion, half tarantula.
Ugh.
Yeah. No, so it's got these things that like pinch out like this, and then it's got this like stinger on the back, but also it has, I think it's officially an arachnid,
Oh,
maybe.
no.
Yeah, so it's a monster. And so
I'm
those things are
terrified. Like, I'm
yeah, so
terrified just hearing that. That sounds
yeah,
horrible.
so uh-huh. So also one of the things that happens is they sting you. So they have a stinger that's about the same length as it. So the whole thing in total is probably about a foot long, but 10 inches. But the thing is about 5-6 inches long, and the stinger is probably like 3-4 inches long.
Mm-hmm.
And so when it stings you, you have the taste of you get sick, and then you get the taste of vinegar in your mouth for like 2 weeks.
Oh fuck! I hate
It's
vinegar. That's like a
fucked up.
double.
It's
That's a
it's like a
double
demon.
whammy.
Yeah. So
Terrible.
then
You just taste malt vinegar everywhere you go.
yeah, it's disgusting.
Am I
So
eating
those
fries in New England? What the fuck's going on?
those and black widows were super common in California City, and rattlesnakes once in a while. It was right in the middle of the Mojave. Then we moved to Florida where there's lizards, and I'm like, neat, lizards, but there's also cockroaches that are huge, and
Mm-hmm.
and they're, I mean, they
Avoid
don't.
them.
No, you can't. And so there were
You
there
can
were
keep your
times.
apartment or house so clean, and they'll still get in.
Oh, totally. We had a brick house that was like, I don't know if that matters to anything. I think it just helps with hurricanes, not cockroaches.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was times that there was one time when a cockroach flew and it landed on my shirt, and it was like I remember my mom, my dad, and my sister all like crying, laughing because of the way I was jumping and flailing around because I couldn't get it off me. And oh God, like I still remember that fucking feeling of like it's
uh,
still it's still there. But I don't mind everything else as long as it's not so fucking big.
I remember, I remember walking through the trailer that we lived in, and a big ass one. It was like I got to the kitchen, and it was basically like it was a single wide. You start in my room, living room, kitchen, and I was walking through just complete darkness. Get to the kitchen, and I felt like one or two of them scurry across my fucking foot. I switch on the light real quick, and I could hear them scurrying away. There were so many of them. You could just hear them, and it was
Oh
like,
God, I've never heard them.
it was bad. We were really bad, and then we would get the German ones too, and they're the little tiny ones. So we get palmetto, the big ones,
Oh yeah.
and the tiny ones would live inside the fucking the electrical outlets.
Yep.
It was crazy. You would like unscrew the electrical outlet, and there'd be a bunch of them coming out of there, and you're like,
Those
oh,
ones seem like they're probably way more of a problem as far as pests go. Because there's the big ones and there's a shitload of them, but those little ones, they just they pile up like a fucking like mud. And there's
yep,
just so many, and they die within each other, and there's just always just dead ones. And, ugh, yeah.
they're always pregnant. Like they're just constantly fucking and dying and stinking up. There's a smell. You can smell it. Ugh. It freaks me out thinking about it. I
Ugh.
hate it. I'm very, very. That's a trigger. Like if someone wanted to like really fuck with me, they'd lock me in a room full of cockroaches because that's something I've like
You hear
dealt
that,
with.
folks?
It's gross. Yeah. I, I think Joe Rogan's the only one with who used to have access to that kind of a thing, but
It's funny. I was actually just looking at because it's just interesting to read some random shit on the internet. So like there's a list of like drunken purchases that people have made, and there was a lot of them that were live like bugs and shit. Like hundreds of caterpillars you can get for like $30. You can get like 100 ladybugs for like not that much money.
it's 100 days of good luck right there.
Yeah, so like I wonder if anybody's been like, oh, 100 ladybugs. My girlfriend loves ladybugs. I'll go like put them in her car. Fucking
They're really funny. We used to purchase them because we would get aphids on our patio at work. So like last summer, our manager put a bunch of ladybugs into the ecosystem because
oh,
that was the
cool.
only way we could deal with them because they ate all the aphids.
Oh, that's fun. That's like a little war zone, like a strategy game.
Basically, it's like the old lady who swallowed a fly or whatever.
I don't know that one.
Oh, it was the lady. This lady swallows a fly, and then she swallows a bird, and then she swallows a cat, and then she swallows a
Oh,
dog. Yeah, because she has to like get the fly out, but she ends up swallowing a whole fucking like zoo's worth of animals.
is that a Shel Silverstein?
It's like a nursery. No, it's older than that. It's like a nursery song.
Okay.
Yeah.
That has like the just enough darkness to be a Shel Silverstein.
Oh no, no, that's what I love. I love some of that old, like I love Roald Dahl too. He's got a lot of dark
Yeah.
themes in his stuff, you know.
Yeah, we were just like me and my daughter were reading Charlie and the Chocolate Factory because it's not
Yeah,
Willy Wonka. Willy Wonka's the movie, the first one.
yeah.
But there's some dark stuff in that too, and it's really fun to read. And she's like, "That's a little different." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, it is." That's
Hmm.
that's like what 1930s it was written, something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they said that Charlie was originally supposed to be black. He was supposed to be a black child.
Oh, weird. Wonder why that
Yeah.
changed.
I think he had to change it to sell it the way it
Yeah,
was
that
written.
makes sense.
Yeah. It makes
Hmm.
sense though. I mean, if you take the kid and it's kind of an interesting it really switches things up. Yeah.
Okay. Let's play a little game here.
Yeah.
I got a game, and it's just going to be a guessing game. I have some a list of things pulled up that is funny or celebrity drinking stories. And so I'm gonna name the story, and you're gonna guess the celebrity.
Okay, that sounds fun.
I'll start off easy. Here we go. This person's 2006 DUI arrest still ranks as one of the top disasters in celebrity drunkenness. Uh, they referred to a female officer as sugar tits and asked another officer if he was Jewish because all Jews are responsible for war in the world.
It's Mel Gibson.
Oh yes. It's fun that I can read that and then and then you're just like, "Oh, duh, it's Mel Gibson."
Is
What
it Mel
a yeah, oh yeah, for sure. What a legacy. What a legacy he's left for himself.
Gibson?
Um This one, here's another fun one. This person was filmed drunkenly rolling around the floor of his Vegas hotel room while shirtless and trying unsuccessfully to eat a cheeseburger.
Oh, that's great. Oh man, I don't know. Who
Oh,
could
have
that
you
be?
not seen that video?
No, I'm not sure who that is.
Oh, it's David Hasselhoff.
Really?
Oh my God, you need to see this video. Okay, there's
Oh
two things you
no.
need to look up now. I forget what the first one is, but this one might be more important for
The
sure.
the vinegar or something?
Oh yeah, Vinegaroon.
Vinegaroon.
Yeah, so that I'll write it down for show
Hasselhoff.
notes at the end.
Okay.
Uh, uh,
Hasselhoff and Vinegaroon.
yeah, Hasselhoff.
Hasselhoff.
Yeah, no, it's great. Okay, keep going. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Um, it's so funny. It's so fucking funny. Yeah, he can't eat a cheeseburger, and he's laying on the floor. It's so funny. This this person. I'm trying to get a more obvious one. These are kind of like
The most obvious one I ever read. I read this must have been 10 years ago. I was on Yahoo and it was just one of those Yahoo News blurbs and it says,
oh yeah.
guess which celebrity was arrested at a Waffle House? And I was like, it's Kid Rock. I don't even need to open the I was like, I don't even need to open
Yeah.
it. It's Kid. And then it turned out to be Kid Rock. And I was
Hell
so
yeah.
happy. So I was like, of course it's Kid Rock. Who else would get arrested at a Waffle House?
That's fucking perfect.
Maybe Britney Spears. I mean, that's the only other.
Oh, here's another one. This is also one, like if you haven't seen or heard about this specific incident, then you might not know. But this person in 2005 drunkenly tackled a Christmas tree in a hotel lobby.
Oh, Daniel Day-Lewis.
That's pretty good. It is Kiefer Sutherland.
Oh man, I didn't know that. That's really funny.
Oh, it's so good.
Was he going like vampire mode, like in Lost Boys? Is that, he's just his eyes went red and he just tackled the tree.
No, he has since acting, he's racked up 4 DUIs.
Oh, nice.
And 4 DUIs and one quarterback sneak or whatever they call it. Christmas tree.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've wanted to tackle a Christmas tree before. I get the sentiment.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it was just like, hey, you know what? I'm Kiefer Sutherland, and I can just give someone money to make, here's the fucking fine.
How much? Yeah, how much does it cost to pay for this tree?
Yeah, and then you go like, okay, well, here's that plus $10,000. I'm gonna tackle this fucking tree. I hand it to him. I would do that too. Hell yeah.
That's pretty great. I just love that he turns into Steve-O when he's drunk, though. Like that's pretty funny to me.
Hey guys, I'm Kiefer Sutherland, and this is fuck you tree.
And this is tree tackle. This is Hilton tree tackle.
That's
You know,
awesome.
a nice hotel or something too.
Here's one.
I got to do better. I got the Mel Gibson, but I think.
that one's just that's top notch. It's so good. You can't make a better drunken freak out than that one, just because like I just said it and it was just you were so obvious, like, oh yeah, that's Mel Gibson for sure. We all know, the world knows who if you think about like who's the most racist celebrity, people go like Mel Gibson probably. Who else though?
Who hates the Jews but loves tits? Mel Gibson.
Yeah, there you go.
He's like sugar tits and
That's just a
Poor Mel
fun
Gibson.
that's like a good icebreaker thing. Like, hey, you know who hates Jews and loves tits? And the person will go, Mel Gibson, and then you go, isn't that crazy that you just knew that? What a bummer for that guy. I mean,
Those
what
are
a
the
bummer
two things people know about.
to be that guy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, poor Mel
Um,
Gibson.
hey, he came back with the beaver or whatever that was. He's like, okay, I'm off tits. I'm in with the beaver now.
Yeah, I wanted to see that. That movie looked fucking weird. I never got to see it.
I wonder if in the court thing he was like, hey, I called her sugar tits because you know me, I know what women want.
Oh my god. That movie is so tone deaf now too.
Oh yeah, they didn't they make a what men want black version? I'm pretty
Uh-huh.
sure. Yeah, I should see that just because I saw what women want. I probably saw it a few times.
I feel like this is the second time though that the Chappelle show predicted the future, because the
That's true.
Chappelle show had a skit about that, and it was literally a woman walks into a hotel or into like a it's like an elevator, and everyone, including a little kid in there, is like, "Yeah, I want to fuck her." Like that was the whole bit, was that she had that power, but they all just wanted to fuck her. And then at the end, when she left the elevator, and they all like clapped hands and shit. Like,
God damn, what a oh, it's frustrating that that show was so good.
oh, it's amazing. I
It's
picked
like
up the DVD for like $20 at Fred Meyer.
hell yeah.
It had the lost episodes too.
Oh cool. I don't feel like I really realized what we had. I think I was just going like, oh cool, comedy's getting good.
Hmm.
Great. That's the world's changing in a good way. This is awesome. And
That was the first show I remember actively like really getting excited to catch up with. Like that in
yeah,
South Park, I was like glued to the TV, and we
South
were
Park's
quoting
so
that shit.
fucking good.
But yeah, we were quoting that shit like at school. Like,
Yeah. Speaking of quotables, have you seen the new Borat?
oh my god, I took I watched it with Amerman, and I took way too many edibles. Like he had homemade edibles, and I don't know how strong they were, but they were too strong. And I was watching Borat, losing my mind. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen, but at the same time, I was dealing with the cringe level of it because it's very cringy.
Yes.
My brain just hurt. Like,
Yeah, I tried to watch it, but I fell asleep. But that wasn't any fault of the movie. It's really entertaining. Um, but yeah, there is the whole part of like the dagger going in is the bit happening, and then
yeah,
the rest of the and that's the first 2% of the thing. And then the bit goes, and then it just twists the whole thing, and you're like, oh my God. Ah,
yeah.
like I can't. And then okay, so there's part of me that I might have had an edible too for that same thing. Um, but I get so analytical about it. I'm like, okay, so how are they disguising the camera? How are none of these people like? Of course, they're cutting around the times when people are looking right into the camera. How are none of their faces blurred? What's the cut like? What's the rules for this? I'm kind of curious now. And then I go into like that part, and then I go, wait, what's happening? Oh fuck, I'm like an old person now. Is that what that is? They're just like in their heads all the time, and then they're like, wait, who's this guy? What's his relation to what's going on in the story?
Hmm.
Oh fuck.
No,
Yeah.
I kind of view it that way too, because I've been like watching interviews with Sacha Baron Cohen
Yeah.
and him
Same.
talking about the espionage level of stuff he goes into. And I think that's just because now that we're older and we really appreciate and respect comedians, we know what goes into those sketches. So
Right.
we really are curious as to what is authentic and what is staged, when
Hmm.
it comes to that. And then I was thinking about that too. I think a lot of it is he had like hidden pen cameras is one thing.
Oh yeah, they could probably have really good pen cameras now.
You can get them for cheap too. You can get like spy. cameras, like $40.
That's
Crazy.
fucked up. It should
That's,
never be that cheap.
no, it's kind of scary.
Yeah.
I'm not into that kind of stuff. It kind of freaks me out. But I'm like, it's kind of like if you really wanted to, you could film some crazy shit. Like film people. I always thought it would be funny to have a view of how people talk to a server, like in
Yeah.
my pocket, just have that and film that. I think that would be funny. Like there would definitely be some funny shit from there. You'd have to edit a lot down, but
Yeah, you'd have to blur, you'd have to edit, but
yeah.
also, so you film it and then you only release it once you're at your next job. But you have
Oh,
this backlog. You have this back
yeah,
because I mean, like you'd for sure get fired for that if you
yeah.
got found out. But then you have the backlog. That's an interesting idea.
No,
I
that's
I
doing that.
I used to turn my like voice recorder that you know you use for stand up on your phone.
Uh-huh.
Uh, in my pocket. I just do that when I went to people's house for audibly, and then just see what happens. Because I do that all the time. Because there's a few little things I actually do, and just because my job is fucking so boring, and I have to just so like in the pen when I hand them the pen and they hand me the pen back, I
Hmm.
will try to write on their hand somehow, just even like a little line. But
Yeah.
it's like I fucking win if I just I got you fucking. So like they hand the pen back and I'll just flip it and I just flip it real quick and then it usually hits like the inside of their palm and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, sorry about that. Um, but there's also times when I audibly fart and it just I don't say anything and they don't say anything, but it's just it's so fun just to be at someone's door, give them pizza and you fart.
You just like you're like, and no extra charge for that. You can
Yeah.
just take the side with you.
Oh, so this is one of my favorite things. So go up to like Best Buy is a good place to do it because it's kind of open air and everything. Walmart, of course. So go up to an employee and go, "Oh, excuse me," and then you fart,
Yeah.
and it catches them so off guard. They're like, "Okay," and then you just kind of stand there for a second, and then you maybe ask a question. But I like saying "excuse me" because you get their full attention, but you
Yeah.
say "excuse me" before you fart at the same time, and it's great.
Ah!
I fucking love it.
Oh man. I I'm more secretive about my farts. I like planting one in an aisle and then going to the next aisle and then like just watching people or listening to people walk through. Kind of funny to me. I can't be that upfront with it. I have to like leave it like a treat for them to
Oh,
find.
like a tree.
A treat
Oh,
for
I thought you said like a
them
tree, like something that'll grow and it'll become something once someone finds it.
to find.
It'll get rooted.
I
Yeah,
was
no,
always the I was always the scapegoat for other people's farts though in middle school because I was the fat kid and they just blamed the fat
yeah,
kid for farting all the time. Like I would
that
have friends
sucks.
that would like literally fart on me, and then
Yeah.
I get blamed for it too, and it was a really stinky fart. And you're like, dude, I lose twice this. I'm the fucking scapegoat fartist. Like I'm like this is fuck
It's so funny, but I mean, it's fucked up, but that's really funny
really funny.
uh,
It's really funny in retrospect, but
as a circumstance. Yeah. But no,
it's
like
silly.
I've always like there's part of me that wonders if I've conditioned my body to fart as much as I do, but I fart so much and like I have confidently said to people like, "Oh, I fart more than anybody I know and likely that you know." And like Emma and Zach will both be like, "Oh, that's fucking true. This dude farts a lot." But I I have a weird relationship with farting. I enjoy it so much that I like yeah, I guess I just grew up farting a lot. Like I'd fart in my hand and put it in my sister's face, or I just I make very specific uh fart noises. Like you could fart, but like having good fart timing, and then you can have good like percussion, and then you can like have good like rhythm. Even you can like cut it off, like that kind of stuff. Just really helps. And
It
if you
depends where you're sitting too. If you're sitting
oh
on like
yeah,
a hard plastic chair, those are
yeah,
fun.
dude, car farts are awesome. You just do a little push off the seat, and then it's just the most perfectly releasing. Oh, it's great. I I love it. When you can time a fart with like a good like look at someone, just like a and then it's just right there. God damn it.
My favorite
There really
is
is an art to it.
the farts that question their own existence. Like, well, why?
What?
Huh?
Who?
I
Fucking
one
love it.
time I had an ex who's like, she was trying to get me to wake up. I was laying in bed and she's like, "You ready to get up?" And I farted and it was like, "Murmur." Like my fart was saying no. Like, no, I'm not.
Uh-uh.
Uh-uh.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. I had to get up after that because I was laughing too hard. I couldn't go back.
You can't fake if you fake the fact that you're asleep.
Yeah.
Oh, I was looking at stupid like story things earlier, and like we're both from Florida. So when people mention things that are from like a Florida man story or whatever, that resonates to you as just like a story, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty normal shit.
It rarely catches me by surprise. Like
Yeah.
I know a guy that was on house arrest because he was on Vicodin and he stole a golf cart and he got Grand Theft Auto just because he was so stupid about it. And it's so
My
funny.
my uncle, and I tell this story on stage sometimes. My uncle stole my Ninja Turtle bike when I was like 6 years old, and he rode it to the pawn shop and he pawned it for drug money.
Hell yeah.
And he also stole a giant chain from my grandpa's place, and he like dragged it down a dirt road, and that's how they were able to find him. Is they found him like dragging this chain. He was trying to pawn a chain, like this just like big ass like tractor chain. And it's just like it's just you just see this chain mark in the dirt, and they're like, well, there he is on the road. It's just drag.
You'd probably get something for it.
Yeah, my uncle was fucking Florida man, and my grandpa was Trump, which is what's really scary. Like my grandpa had fucking golden eagles all over his house, and
Yeah.
it
There's a
was
lot of that shit. There's a
yeah,
lot of
dude.
that shit, and it's really normalized. You don't even like you just walk past it and go like, oh, there's it's like if someone had square hedges versus round hedges.
Yeah,
That's
it's just
just
anyone from that era, we just were like, oh, they've got eagle shit. I'm pretty sure my grandpa had some KKK shit because his dad was in the KKK, which was fucked up.
that's fucked up. Yeah.
No, I was like my great grandpa. Like I was like, dude, that's fucked. He was a ginger too. He was a fucking redhead in the KKK. I was like, that's funny. That's fucking. There's something silly about that.
Yeah.
Like I'm the superior race. Can you hand me that sunblock, please? I can't be in the sun for too long.
That's fucking funny.
Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome. I
yeah.
found
I grew up with Florida man.
these are a few Florida stories that I came across. That so this guy called 911 to check on his tax returns,
Hmm.
and he got arrested for that because he gave him all his information. And I guess you can get arrested for that. Maybe it was just a police report. Uh, I watched a video of a guy attempting to leave a store with a chainsaw stuck in his pants. uh, have you ever used
Like
a chainsaw?
his back pocket. Was
Yeah,
he
no,
like?
it was sweatpants.
Oh my god.
Fucking
Yeah,
sweatpants right here, and he wasn't even that big of a dude.
he
So it's
had
like,
Jinkos. He had
yeah,
Jinkos the chainsaw.
Jinko, dude. If they released Jinko sweatpants,
Dude,
I'd probably get some. Dude,
they could
if
they
they
could
brought back
totally
Jinko
buy me
jeans just at all, if they brought that back, I bet you that'd be a hit. That'd be
Oh,
cool.
for sure. No, I was thinking he steals the chainsaw, puts it in the Jinkos, and then he can take it home and it can actually cut off those fucking rat tails that are at the bottom of the jeans. It's
Yep.
like
They're just the wet shit. They're just
uh,
behind. Yep.
your wet mop feet.
Um, there was I saw the mugshot of this one. This guy who had a T-shirt that said, "Whoever needs," it said, "Who needs drugs? Seriously, I have drugs." He was arrested for possession of drugs.
Dude, I had a buddy, my buddy Carl. He used to sell weed in Florida, and he had a fucking SpongeBob backpack. He had a SpongeBob backpack with his tongue hanging out. Like it was literally like just SpongeBob's body and his face. And not only that, he took a red Sharpie and he drew like red, like
On the eyeballs.
yeah, red on the eyeballs. And I'm like, dude, you're gonna get pulled over and they're gonna be like, what's in the fucking stoned SpongeBob bag, you know? And he had weed in it. He was selling weed.
Uh-huh.
And he got pulled over, and of course they were like, what's in the SpongeBob bag? And he got a fucking misdemeanor.
He's like, weed? I mean, nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's like, dude, it's such a stupid. He drove a Mustang too, so it's like you were just asking to get pulled over.
Dude, I had a SpongeBob shirt when I was a freshman, and it said SpongeBob nudie pants on it, and he was
uh,
naked and he was covering his, junk area, and he had
uh,
like embarrassed face. And the teacher was such a Christian that she said that I needed to go turn my shirt inside out. And I was
oh,
like, no, I was like, no, I'm not going to do that because I use white deodorant and that'll be embarrassing to show off my deodorant stains. And then she goes, well, then you can go home. And I was like, yeah, that's what I was going for. So that's what I did. It was great.
oh, I remember turning the old shirt inside out. They made me do that because I had an Aqua Teen Hunger Force shirt my senior year, and it was the one from the movie where there was a girl in a bikini on it. I forgot that was even part of it, but it also had like Carl and
Yeah.
Meatwad and all of them, and they had like chainsaws and shit. It was a rad shirt, but the super Christian lady at school was like, "You need to turn it inside out," and I was like, "I'm a senior," and I just walked away.
I'm a senior. Oh man, when you're a senior, it's so like, oh no, I'm not gonna do that. I know how this goes. Yeah, no thanks.
She's like, "What's your name?" I'm like, "I don't. I'm a senior."
What's your name?
What's yeah?
Oh
And like
man.
I never dealt with her before. She was never like one of my teachers. She's just like one of those cafeteria narcs.
Dude,
Like,
some of the best stories from high school are just the fucking crazy Christian teachers. There was another Christian teacher that like she would get really pissed if you said God, and it was just public high school, and
mhm.
she was involved in church somehow. Um, anyway, but yeah, she was an English teacher, and she would hate any of that kind of speech. And there was this guy, Sam Hicks. He's a fucking legend still today. Oh my god! So we were doing something, and he goes, "Oh man, that sucks." And she goes, "Sam, we don't say sucks in this class. We say vacuums." And he was like, and he just puts his hands on his desk, and he goes, "Miss Fisher, vacuum my dick." And he stands up and he walks out, and everybody was just like, "Oh!"
That's
It's
fucking great.
it was the coolest fucking like that's one of the most baller moments I've still ever seen in my whole life. That one and oh, dude, my other friend, he was breaking up with his girlfriend on the phone, and he goes, "I'm sorry, I gotta go. You're wasting my anytime minutes." And then he just hung up. I was like, "Fuck, dude, that's good."
They're like, I'm breaking up with you. I've got other girls to call. Like, you can't.
Oh
This is
man,
time, not all the time.
so fucking
That's
fun.
cool. Oh man, I'm trying to think of some. We had some fucking dumb racist kids in our cafeteria. It used to. It was kind of funny at the time, but looking back on it, they were just being dumb and racist. They
Yeah.
would scream. They would scream N word, N word, dick in the middle, of the. And it just get up. There's this redneck. and he would just scream it, and you're like, why? Why is? But it was fucking hilarious. I
But
don't know
yeah, but
why.
at the same time, that's really fucking funny.
I don't think he was necessarily himself racist, but I mean, it's hard to argue in the opposite though. Be like, you got in trouble for it,
Yeah.
but
Well, just it's like extremely high stakes, inappropriate.
yeah,
And especially when you're young, I remember kids saying that all the time, just to be inappropriate and say something shitty. But it was a lot. There was a lot less weight to it when
yeah,
we were young.
exactly. But yeah, I just remember him causing a commotion all the time and like doing that. I remember. I'm trying to think. What was a really good one? They did some pretty good senior pranks. Like they started growing weed in the common area.
Oh hell yeah!
They like they like buried some seeds and they like watered it here and there, and there was weed in the common area. There's just some ridiculous shit. They glued a
That's
bunch
great.
of doors shut, but that happens a lot.
There was people that just like throughout the year on all the tile floors would super glue just coins to the floor.
Oh yeah, I remember. I've seen that.
Yeah,
God,
that was
there's so
great.
many weird universal high school experiences.
Yeah, for sure. No, we're just reminiscing about high school. Oh, that's fun. But yeah, this has been good. This has been great. Let's pour one out to some of the people that have died from their alcohol abuse real quick. Shout out to this one I kind of contest, but I'm not going to get into conspiracies right now. Jimi Hendrix, I feel like he was murdered instead of died from abuse. Jack Kerouac. We got Scott Weiland, Mickey Mantle, China, Amy Winehouse, and Mini Me himself, Vern Troyer.
Oh, Vern, that's
Pouring out
sad.
for your homies, everybody. And
Yeah.
we'll see you next time on This Must Be Nice with Kyle Adams and Chad Johnson. See you later.